Outside of 45 podcast. I am your host, Randy Black. This podcast is about taking chances, owning my mistakes, addressing generation family cycles and trauma, completing my 50/50s by 50s list, and my life as a single mother of Gen Z children. Young adult children. Anyway, if this is your first time listening, welcome. Please subscribe and rate the podcast 5 stars. This episode, just like every episode in June, is entitled June is for Pride, Juneteenth, Father's Day, and First Day of Summer. I've already covered Pride, Father's Day, and Juneteenth. So today, to wrap up June, I'm going to talk about First Day of Summer, which actually was last week. Whatever. Listen, here's the thing. I had absolutely no clue what I would say related to the First Day of Summer. See, the way my mind works is that, I'll come up with an idea, and then I will hope that I can figure out how to make that work. And, I started thinking about my daughter's summer, what it was like for them when they were growing up, and how much I missed during the summer months. See, they went to South Carolina to visit family for a good portion of the summer. And this started when they were babies. And the reason why is because I have a lot of family that live in South Carolina, and that's where my immediate family is, mother's, my stepfather, and I had cousins who were around the age of teenagers. So that when school was out was the only time that my mother could get them, because she would have a babysitter in the family. So my cousins would babysit the kids during the summer when they were on summer vacation, and she would pay them. I think I paid them. I don't know. I can't remember. That's neither here nor there. So anyway, that's basically how the summers went. And although my family and I were not on good terms for most of my children's childhood, I never wanted that to affect them. The way I grew up, I know my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, and I felt that the girls deserved the same. So every summer they would go back to South Carolina, they would spend time with family, and mother would plan vacations for them. She would take them places. They would go to New York, they went to Canada, they would go to the beach, wherever mother and or my sibling would plan, because my oldest sibling would plan a lot of the vacations. Sometimes my stepfather's family would plan something. So the girls had pretty good summers. I just wasn't there. And for me, I would stay in Atlanta, and this was supposed to be an opportunity, especially when they were younger, for me to save money on daycare, because daycare was very expensive. And then I was supposed to, save. I was supposed to regroup, get an opportunity to prepare for school. That was our routine. They actually did it up until they were in high school. They would go back. And that they probably, I think they also go back, same thing. No, they've been going back. They still go back when they were in college. My family would still arrange for them to go on vacation with them. So they've been doing it for many years. I want to say the only time they probably, my memory might be fading me out, they didn't do it during COVID. So basically, they go back, they have vacations, and I'm not sure if they're going to be doing it this year. That's neither here nor there. I don't know. Anywho. But as much as I appreciate it and was happy for the girls, I always felt like I was on the sidelines when they left. Because, I would call them, and they would be laughing and listen to the stories about playing with cousins, and they would have these family get-togethers, and there was, of course, the trips that they were going on, and I wanted that for them. I did. But all of this was happening without me. And this is what gives me guilt. And I still hold on to that guilt to this day. The guilt of not being the one who took them on family vacations during the summer. See, living in the suburbs, all the families were traveling all over the world. All over the world. I would hear, we're here, we're going there. And here I was, stuck working. And that's what I did then. And honestly, that's still what I'm doing. I'm still working to watch them enjoy their life. And I've always wanted them. I still want them to than I did. And they do. They do. But there's still this guilt. Because there are very few pictures of us on vacation. I mean, we went very rarely. God. I remember when they were really young and then when they were teenagers. And there were very few things in between that. And the thing is, I never really envisioned that for them, for us. Because you know what? We were supposed to go on vacation together. And when I was growing up, we had very few family vacations. Now, if I were to count doing something that had nothing to do with the cult, I would say we went on one family vacation that I remember. And I'm going to tell you, it was pretty horrible. We went to Disney World. Now, excuse me, Disney stuff was awesome. But mother and the stepfather were annoying. They were absolutely annoying. And I've said before on this podcast that the stepfather didn't like children. And we were children. He was very strict. And that didn't stop just because we were on vacation. He was still strict. Never let up. Never let up. And I recall me and my twin sibling being at the hotel. So we were at Disney, and this is the interesting fact. We stayed at the Peabody Hotel. Now the Peabody was sold and is now the Hyatt Regency, but back when it was the Peabody, it was a pretty nice hotel. And the Peabody was known for its ducks. I remember the ducks. So I think we were gone we went to Disney for maybe a week. I think it was a whole week, maybe 7 days. Could have been 5, but I don't remember. Anyway, so we would go to the park. It was hot in Florida. We would have fun at the park, despite all of the, strictness and don't do and did it and annoying that they were. So we go back to the hotel and we were head straight for the pool. It was like, done, like, get away from you guys. And the pool was, oh my God, it was just so nice. And it was time to get away from everybody and just finally enjoy our vacation. There are no pictures, just memories. And that was the last vacation we went on as a family. And I put family in quotes because we never felt like family with him. And the fact of the matter is, I remember things escalated on a vacation and we were like, I don't ever want to go on vacation with you again. And they never tried after that. But the thing was, it wasn't a big deal. Because the only thing they wanted to do is take us to summer religious conventions. Oh my God, every summer. The cult held it started out when we joined a 4-day convention or summer, but then they reduced it to 3. I don't know what it is now, I don't keep up. And that was considered our summer vacation. We would get a hotel, we drive 45 minutes to the capital of South Carolina, spend 2 to 3 nights depending on, when, how many days it was at the time. And we stayed in a pretty mid-level, high-level hotel. Mother made sure that the hotel was nice and that it had a pool. Like, we didn't stay in hotels, it was always hotels. And the convention would start about, sometimes I want to say it would start at 9 or 10. I can't remember, you guys. And it would end about 5. So that was all day, sitting in seats, taking notes, trying not to fall asleep. It was so boring. I'm just telling you, it was so boring. But we try to make the best out of it. We would meet other young people, other young cult members from around the state of South Carolina who were all gathered at the state capitol for these conventions, and people we haven't seen in months. And so, we would walk around and talk. And, we would do it before the convention started. We would do it during lunch because we would have like an hour, I want to say, break where we would get away and just get together with the young people and eat and have some fun and sit outside if it wasn't raining, whatever. Anyway, then briefly before we left, if we could, we would, speak or whatever, but everybody was trying to rush their cars because the traffic was so bad trying to leave the parking. But anyway, believe it or not, for many years, this was the only thing we had to look forward to during the summer. And, oh man, there was this one summer when my twin sibling and I talked mother into letting us visit our great aunt, who she's since passed now, also a cult member in Florida. She Florida, I remember, I want to say she asked, could we come? Anyway, and we didn't think Mother would agree, but she did. So we took a Greyhound bus from South Carolina to Florida. That was the first time and only time we were able to get away from Mother for vacation, okay? I remember being so intrigued by all the things I saw in Florida. Like, that young, I thought Florida was great. I thought I was going to live in Florida because it was near the beach. And it was exciting. But anyway, and my family in Florida, you know what, they made sure we had a good time. I will never forget that, man. It was the best feeling in the world. That my aunt lived in an apartment with a pool. We had never had that kind of access to a pool daily. You know, we were allowed to walk around the neighborhood with no one expecting us to do anything. It was so freeing, and we just loved it. And then when it was time to leave, not surprising, we didn't want to go. And our great aunt asked us if we wanted to stay home. And of course, we said yes. She called back home. She asked Mother, and she was like, "No, we gotta come back home." Not like we were doing anything. She just didn't want us there. I remember us back then, we say, she just don't want us to have fun. I don't think that's what it was. We just dreaded going back home. That was the summer of my 12th year. Like I said, I'll never forget that summer. And although I couldn't take my children on these great vacations, they always went somewhere with relatives. When they were in school, I would tell them, when they were growing up, when I was raising them, they would be in school very young, when I would say middle school, maybe even high school. I would tell them that I used to say, y'all have been more places at whatever age, up 10 years old, whatever age was a one in front of it. Y'all have been more places at your age than I've been my entire life. And you know what? It was a small sacrifice to make to ensure that they didn't have the summers that I had. Stuck in a venue, listening to ministers talk about God and religion. They planned vacations with family and friends because they got what I didn't get. They got to leave that small city in South Carolina and experience something different. I mean, they didn't grow up there. I did. But even going back there, they were still able to leave. They did more than me, period. I remember when I was growing up in South Carolina, I felt stuck. Like, I remember feeling like I couldn't breathe. I used to want to leave so bad. I used to dream of what it must be like to get out of that place and see the world. I do still dream of seeing the world. And now that my daughters are older, we plan to visit everywhere and do everything. So when I hear them planning trips, when I hear them talk about trips that they've taken, it brings me joy. I may not have been with them, but them leaving, experiencing more of what they see, more than just what they see in their backyard, is a family cycle that was broken. We broke that. And I'm grateful that my relatives didn't exclude the girls despite them shunning me. Sometimes I believe you must support the breaking of a family cycle and watch from the sidelines. Even though I played a small role in this, I'm glad that my children had a better experience with summer than I did. And knowing that, I can say that my life is just fun. Like the theme song for my life. Y'all know who Sister Mary J. Blige. I like what I see when I'm looking at me, when I'm walking past the mirror. Don't stress through the night at the time of my life. Ain't worried about if you feel it. Got my head on straight. I got my vibe right. Ain't gonna let you kill it. You see, I wouldn't change my life. My life's just fine. Well, meet me on the other side of 45 is a podcast, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. New episodes will be released every Monday. Thank you for tuning in. And please don't forget to rate the podcast 5 stars so others can find it. It helps me grow my podcast. Your feedback and support is Now, if you want to share your story, please email me at host, that's host, HOST, at theothersideof45.com. Now, before I sign off, I want to tell you about something that has nothing to do with this. I just want to share it because I can. So I watch Peacock, right? And the only show that I regularly watch every single day, well, most days, sometimes I fall asleep from too tired, is Leave the Beaver. Now, if you follow me, you know that I used to watch Andy Griffin before Netflix took that away from me. So the other day, I was watching Leave the Beaver, and I see this notification that I have, at the time, I think the first time I saw it said 13 days left. I was like, what? They're taking away Leave the Beaver, and it was Andy Griffin show all over again, y'all. I was panicked, I was mad. And after a few days ago, I finally looked it up, and I was like, why, are they taking Peacock off? Leave the Beaver off Peacock. Nothing came up. But then I went to my TV and I searched Leave the Beaver, found out it was on another channel. So all is not lost. They still haven't brought back the Andy Griffin show because I refuse to pay any amount of money to watch that show. Is stinking old. It was older than me, and I'm not paying for that. That's ridiculous. So there was a small crisis averted because there's another channel that will have Leave the Beaver. So all is not lost, you guys. I just wanted to share how panicked I was when I thought that I was going to lose Leave the Beaver. I honestly didn't know what I was going to do. I was like, what the freak? How am I going to fall asleep? Anyway, till next time.